as Elena
Testing.
wonderfully introduced, I'm Caroline, the moderator for today's ZK panel. And we welcome everyone here on stage as we discuss the exciting debate between should we actually get ZK enshrined in L1s, what are some of the complex challenges here, and maybe some trade-offs as well. Yeah, so we're going to start off with maybe we'll just go through and have a brief introduction starting from Tom's side, and then we'll come through.
Testing? Yeah, okay. Good to meet everyone, and it's great to be here on the panel. My name is Tom Ngo, CEO of Metis, L2 blockchain. We are a Ethereum scaling infrastructure, but actually we have evolved more than an Ethereum scaling infrastructure. We were an organization that was created and accepted to provide solution in the challenge of blockchain, and now we have evolved into creating other, I would say, solutions for the industry from ZKM side to the data alignment side with Hyperion that we just announced, even supporting Goat Network, which is a BTC layer 2. So it's great to be here.
Thank you. Ben?
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm CCO at Taiko. Taiko is the first base rollup on Ethereum. And that means that we use the L1 Ethereum validators to sequence transactions. This is actually quite cutting edge and puts us ahead of the curve in terms of decentralization. And one of the things that we're also looking forward to in the future is interoperability without compromising on Ethereum as the true base layer. So what we're looking forward to in the future is, in the coming months, pre-confirmations, because with base rollups, we are limited by the 12-second block time, but with pre-confirmations, that will speed things up to milliseconds. Thank you.
Yourself, Victor?
Hi, everyone. I'm co-founder and CEO of Manta Network. Manta is start from ZK privacy, and then pivot into first modular L2. We actually still right now the cheapest L2 within the all this L2 landscape, and also we built a different kind of product, focus on a consumer and bring new user and new emerging new technology into the Ethereum and whole Web3 ecosystem.
Thank you. And Stephen?
Hello everyone, I'm Stephan from the ZKM. ZKM is a ZK virtual machine for the MIPS instruction set architecture. Yeah, it's first it's different from the RISC-V. Okay, ZKM aims to build in the universal settlements and the trustless interoperability for the different blockchain ecosystem. It's trying to promoting the unified liquidity for different among different blockchain ecosystem with the entangled rollup. Yeah, so we ZK MIPS is our ZK virtual machine that's built on the MIPS instruction set, and we also have a proof network that's based on the cloud with the GPU acceleration to for the developer user to generate the proof in real time. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So let's kickstart with one of the hardest questions there is, right? So zero proof knowledge being integrated natively into Ethereum. What does this mean for Ethereum, right? What are the impacts and implications? I would love to hear all of your experts' thoughts on this, especially we have some from layer 1 privacy blockchains and a lot of layer 2 rollups here that we have in this panel. So maybe we will start over at you, Tom, and then come through this way again.
Yeah, I think with evolution of blockchain, the enshrinement is actually a great evolution in the space. If you think about wireless network, computing, standard computing, we started with CPUs, and then suddenly GPUs came into the picture. Now it's a standard. I think with the evolution of blockchain, where we had a legacy model with Ethereum, and now with ZK implementing, being baked into it, I think it's a great evolution for our industry, and it's a need. That's why it's being considered. There will definitely be some challenges transitioning since there's such, I would say, compatibility issues that you would have to also consider from development, and being a blockchain with interoperability is a challenge already. I think it adds another layer of complexity. So I'm not sure how fast this will happen, but it'll be interesting to see. But I think it's a great evolution for our space.
Sounds good. And so, Ben, you guys are at L2. What does enshrinement mean? Would this make all the L2s stronger, more powerful, or would it actually make L2s redundant? What are your thoughts on this?
So I think the first thing that we need to understand is what ZK enshrinement actually means. So ZK enshrinement means that we're bringing ZK verification to the actual protocol level. So what it doesn't mean is that Ethereum will batch transactions, which is what a rollup actually does. So from an L2 perspective, the L2s will still exist because they will batch the transactions and continue to provide the ZK proofs. The differentiating factor here would be that the ZK verification actually happens at the Ethereum level rather than through smart contracts. So that basically means that for the actual users and for the actual ZK rollups, the costs would be reduced significantly, and also the complexities as well, because there's no longer a need for the smart contract.
Thanks for that. Victor, I think your perspective is quite unique, right? Because you have both the L1 side and the modular rollup side. What are your thoughts on an enshrinement for all the ZK proofs?
I mean, we can talk a lot of things about technology. The great things about ZK in tech is it makes a lot of things decentralized and then provable. But on the other side, there's not many audience right now just focus on technology in this space. People focus on how to use it and see how to adoption. But I mean, kind of unpopular opinion is I think ZK actually become a barrier to stop the Ethereum go to the mass adoption now to acquire more user. We spend past 4 years, I will say, start from end of 2021 or 2022, involve a lot of things, work with Zero-X Park, which is a really Ethereum native ZK research group. But then all of these research topic is really focused on decentralization or focus on maybe some kind of use cases existing in Web3, but to make it more provable and make it more decentralization, but it doesn't help acquire more users. And then that's what I think the whole ZK ecosystem or projects right now facing the challenge. I mean, you can see the token price of Ethereum and then all of the project, I mean, include us. So that's my reflection and see what is kind of the impact right now. I mean, 2 years before, I won't say that because everyone was happy, was say there's really bullish, there's a bright future. But now we have to see how to use this technology more user-facing.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting as well because obviously with L1 enshrinement of ZK proofs, it should give you a more seamless experience, right, being on Ethereum. But there's also been talks that this might become more of a challenge for the developer side, right? Now you're learning a whole new package. What are your thoughts on this, Stephen?
Yeah, basically I think, first I would say I totally agree with his view about how the ZK should be insured by the Ethereum, because we need to more user, more traffic. So that's the motivation of the ZK actually. So yeah, for the for the developer friendly I mean ZK applications, of course I think ZK VM is the best way, I think. First, because you don't have to learn some DSR, learn some new language to write your sockets. You just convert with tiny modification to your normal program. We can help you to generate a proof for you. So it would be very. I think first point is it's very easy for developer to write the sockets. The second point is it's also more. I mean, it would be you don't have to to verify your circuits, audit your circuits. You just audit your business logic, your normal code. So your circuit will also be audited too. So I think it will be more secure for the developers too. I think this is big advance regarding the ZK technology. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I have to kind of cut it short for myself. I had another engagement, but it was great to be on the panel quickly with everyone. I think everybody is here well qualified and will definitely provide some amazing insight. So it's a pleasure. Thank you.
thanks a lot, Tom. All right, we're going to continue this panel for a little bit longer. Now we have a lot of interesting L2s with ZK knowledge proof being enshrined. Where do you think the innovation is going to come through, right? Where do you think the differentiation for the L2s are going to come through then? Shall we start with Ben this time?
Yeah, sure. So from Taiko's perspective, we use zero knowledge proofs for our proving system. So from an innovation perspective, we're looking forward to the speed increase, the technology optimizations that will help to increase the actual speed of the actual proofs and reduce the complexities as well. And this also means that going forward, that we will actually see probably less intensive hardware requirements as well as the programming and the proofs become simpler, as it were, in terms of the hardware and the technology going forward. So in addition to all of this, because of the various optimizations, we would also probably see that there will be more specialist type L2s being created. So specifically towards the ZK side, there'll be optimizations for things like gaming, for DeFi, for even SocialFi, where there will be optimizations made for speed. So you'll get more, I would say, app-specific chains and roll-ups.
All right. Victor, do you have any thoughts on this too, in terms of L2 innovations?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel right now there's too many L2s. Unfortunately, like, this kind of situation, we've been thinking about that since like 2022. Like, is that 2022, the DevCon last time in Bogota? Like when OP Stack announced, and people never thought about this can create so much trouble. Like because there's no interoperability, and then there's kind of like everyone can launch their own L2, and then like modular make all of this L2 and 4844 make all this L2 extremely cheap, and then it's actually become the problem of Ethereum. I mean, no one thought about it, but I think one positive case is Hyperliquid. Everyone thought Hyperliquid is an L1, and also it's not decentralized at all. Like it's basically like centralized as crazy level, but it's like a database, but it works extremely well, and the experience are good, and it's just focused on trading. I learned a lot from that. I feel like before I was thinking we build a chain and then it's just like build an ecosystem and then bring user on board, bring builders on board, and then builder will build some great application and then user will like it. But that's all this L2 doing, and none of the L2 been doing very well. I mean, include Manta. But I feel Hyperliquid just focus on one thing, doing it really good. That's probably how the future L2 should be.
So I guess in some ways you're also seeing a consolidation of efforts, right, in terms of the L2s? Or you're saying it should happen?
I feel it's really hard to consolidate. It's just free market. A lot of projects will die. It's not like they're not going to somehow interoperable because it's already there. It's already fragmented. I mean, it's free market. So some project will die. Some projects suck all the liquidity, and then winner takes all.
That's a great thought. Stephen, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, actually for us, yeah, we see that for the most of the ZKVM, yeah, maybe it's not about the instruments about the of the Ethereum, but just from the point of the all the ZKVM projects, actually they have a big problem that's where the transaction is, where the transaction is. So from ZKM, we changed our strategy last year. I mean, yeah, maybe the year 2023, later 2023. So we said we have the, yeah, we are part. Actually, we can prove the, we can build the hybrid rollup. We can also, have some chance to, I mean, the generative proof for the sequencer, but how to, get some benefits from the sequencer, that's a problem, So we see that's the shared sequencer. Because shared sequencer means, shared sequencer or decentralized sequencer, that means we return the gas or some benefits maybe from the MEV to the prover. So the prover can, work for that reward. So I think that's maybe a very interesting, business model for the ZKVM, but it's more like end-to-end solution. Not meaning we just building the proof generation layer. So we also build the proof verification layer. Okay, so of course for the enshrinements of the Ethereum, it's easy to build the verifier, but for some other blockchains, maybe it's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult because they have different, elliptic curve. They have different, functionality of the smart contracts, especially like the Bitcoin. It's totally difficult to implement the verifier. So for us, we build some kind of end-to-end. We not only focus on the prover side, we also focus on the verifier side. Yeah,
right.
So that's also part of our strategy right now, yeah.
Got it on that. All right, so well then in that case, right, with all this happening, actually the main question is the ecosystem even ready for L1 enshrinement for ZK proof, right? What are your thoughts on this? Is there a horizon timeline you're thinking of that this will actually happen for within the next 6 months, 1 year? What are your thoughts on this? Victor, I feel like you have something to say, so please.
I just listened your question. It's really hard to say the timeline, but I think it's not about the technology. It's about the mindset of the builders. If builders never thought about who are going to use this kind of technology, I mean, it's just very sad because they spend a lot of time building this and then eventually there's no product market fit. But I think this is changing a lot within the past 2 years. Again, it's a free market, so that's the great things about crypto. People have to adopt it. I mean, successful project have to adopt it. So let's see how that goes. At least this is way better than post-quantum. I mean, I never saw any post-quantum project ever make it, but at least ZK project somehow make into the fundraising level, but it's not into the really go-to-market level. I just say none of the ZK projects really did that. So let's see how that goes.
So do you think actually Ethereum should be incentivizing more builders to get in the space? They should be doing more for ZK proofs?
No, I think definitely not. Ethereum should do something user focus first, rather than just encourage everyone to do ZK. There are already enough a cryptographer in the space. I see a lot of people, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people in Malaysia, I lived there before, a lot of builder, they don't have PhD. They're not even researchers, but they start to learn ZK because of Ethereum. That's not the way it works. I think Ethereum bring this kind of users into the wrong direction. They should build some user-facing product. And then those kind of builders waste their time to build some so-called ZK product, but there's no user. So compared to in Solana, like I have to say like a lot comparison, but like Malaysia builder like in Solana ecosystem, for example, Jupiter, they build a lot of this kind of trading focused product, and it's pretty successful. And then people see Solana builder successful, Ethereum builder still never make it, and then they will build on Solana. That's how the ecosystem goes down.
Ben, what are your thoughts on this? Do you have a controversial view, or you're of the same view of Victor?
So my view is that if you look at ZK from a technology standpoint, the technology is advancing at a really breakneck speed. It's evolving rapidly every single day, to the point that if you look at the news that we're seeing out there, just in the past couple of days, one of the big four has changed from optimistic roll-ups to running their own ZK roll-up. So this alone is support for the fact that ZK roll-up is the end game, it's the way forward, and it's the place to be. In terms of the timelines, that will be very much dependent upon the technology, the breakthroughs that we make in terms of the calculation, the speed, and ultimately the costs to the end user. So as costs come down, then ZK will become more popular. From a rollout perspective, I think it would make sense to do it in sort of stages so that you can actually test various narratives and different types of applications, and to see what would run the best in terms of optimization for it. So a rough estimate in terms of timelines, I would say we're getting there, but we're still not there, and it'll probably be maybe a year or so before we actually start seeing real mainstream adoption in that sort of area.
And theorizing on this adoption, Stephen, do you have something to add to this?
Yeah, I want to say once one should be, once the verifier would be Snack will gross 16 or Stack verifier, I think that's it's really hard to to convince all the projects that we have a standard that everybody can use that with the same cost, because different prover made different verifier of course have different costs. So yeah, it's hard to say the time now or the end. Yeah.
But I think one of the interesting parts about this is, as Victor was saying, we definitely need more dApps. We need more application usage, more on the consumer-facing side. And besides, the ZK part generally should feel so seamless, it's all running in the back end anyway. Where do you see, actually, with everything you guys are building, the adoption coming through first? Right? What kind of applications, what is it institutional usage that you're seeing actually more ZK proof usage, and you can leverage more institutional usage of these L1 chains with, Ethereum, with a native enshrinement of ZK? Is this where we're heading towards? What are your thoughts on this? I'm opening the floor for any of you who want to come through and speak first.
So in terms of adoption by institutions, as I just mentioned before, we are seeing ZK taking, in terms of the roll-up space, being adopted by the big four. So this basically means that, from a technology perspective, people are using this. So ZK comes with it in terms of, there's two items. There's the scalability aspect, which is what you use for the ZK roll-ups. But there's also the privacy part of it, which is why, in terms of the institutions and other providers, they would actually be more interested in the ZK part, because they have to use cryptography to prove actually things exist without actually revealing too much of the information to make it too public.
Do you think actually that would make KYC much harder, though?
Not necessarily, because privacy is actually built into certain applications. So from a ZK perspective, Once that takes off, you will actually get more applications building, and they would be specializing more in different types of areas. Some of them will be specializing more in, for example, scaling capabilities, whilst others will be moving more towards the privacy aspect.
Victor, your thoughts? What apps do we need? What consumer adoption?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I mean, like, I feel, I mean, definitely the institution and focus on identity and maybe privacy, verifiable, this kind of stuff. But I've been thinking is kind of like, how is the team understanding about the space? That's probably the most important. Like, I mean, no matter it's ZK project or not, like if a project's like dev team or basically like the whole team can like build some product market fit product, and then they use ZK or not, like no matter what, that's a successful project. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Like we don't have to use ZK to become a successful project. I mean, but definitely if, you know, like we want to be more decentralized, we can use it. That's great. But right now, I still think, you know, there's technology bottleneck, and it's still pretty far from like a real adoption. I've been really focused on the improved trading experience. I mean, I'm a trader myself, and I feel like the whole general Ethereum ecosystem, like, really missing the really good trading experience in this cycle compared to Solana, and that's why, you know, it's never take off.
Stephen, your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Actually, we are collaborates with different projects, like different layer 2, like the Bitcoin layer 2, have optimistic layer 2. So as I mentioned, I think we cooperate with, we need to actually we are proving for the sequencer, and we want to share some benefits from the sequencer. I think that's from my understanding, that's the one of the best application right now for the ZK, maybe ZKVM or ZKEVM. Yeah. So from the privacy or from the other, you know, privacy preserving computation perspective, I think there's some GameFi. Yeah, I heard some GameFi, but yeah, it's very interesting. So I think for gaming, maybe it's another applications, and for other, you know, identity or maybe prove the, maybe in the future there. One more case is to prove the fairness of the execution of the AI agents. Maybe one of the, you know, application in the future, but we need to make sure that the AI agent can do some, you know, can do something that helpful for people. Yeah.
All right, great. No, super interesting. GameFi being one of the way forward as well. So as we slowly move towards the end of our panel, what I would love to hear is actually from all of our panelists here. What are you guys building towards in the next 6 months to a year? What are you looking forward to? And like some project milestones, plans coming forward. Maybe we'll start with you, Stephen, and then go the other way down.
Okay. For ZKM, currently, the most important is to implement, realize the real-time proving, maybe in this year. Yeah, that means real-time proving. That means we proving the Ethereum mainnet block in 12 seconds. Yeah. So, but currently, we can see that it's spent. We still need about 1 or 2 minutes to do that. Okay. So that's the first. I think first milestone we need to achieve that maybe in 3 to 6 months this year. And another milestone is because we are also building the proof verification layer. We also have some other, collaboration with the Gold network to implement the BitVM. I would say Gold OCP. It's BitVM based. That's using the BitVM optimistic challenge mechanism to verify the proof on Bitcoin with Bitcoin scripts without any Bitcoin forks or other upgrades. So yeah, that's the second one. Thank you.
Sounds good. Victor, exciting plans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to build some product ourselves. We will not only build the L2, and also we will build more user-facing product ourselves. Because I find just do ecosystem it's really hard, to have a competitive advantage. So let's see how that goes. And we also, keep improve the infrastructure with fast finality through work with the restaking protocols. Before we've been thinking using ZK like a fraud proof, but I find that it's actually way easier to use restaking protocol to keep network security than use ZK. Then we find why don't we just do that? Yeah, let's see how that goes.
All right. Well, I look forward to hearing more in a bit.
Yeah, so from our side, we're very excited about pre-confirmations, which is going to be the next big thing. So that's going to happen in the next month or so. But from a ZK perspective, from a Taiko, what we're actually looking forward to the most is 100% ZK proving. We currently have that at the moment with multi-proof systems where we use multiple suppliers for ZK. But the problem with that is because it's relatively new and it's very costly, we are using our own provers. So what we're looking forward to is the cost reduction, which will bring down the cost, which will then therefore enable community provers to use ZK proofs as well. This will help decentralize the network and make it fully decentralized going forward.
Super exciting. So I think next time when we do this other, boundless House of Boundless ZK, we should have some exciting movements in the next 6 to 12 months. Well, thank you so very much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm going to hand that stage back over to Elena. Thank you.
Thank you.